Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. So today I intend to do something a little bit different. So this is a bit of a mix up between models and prototype. That's if it goes according to plan, and you never can tell with me, but we'll see. We'll give it a shot and see what happens. So today I'm here at Newhaven. Just there is Newhaven Harbour railway station. Heading in that direction is Seaford. So the point of this was, we're going to visit a friend of mine who's got the model railway Newhaven Harbour. Excuse me, I need to take a photograph of a train. That was a Brighton Seaford service, just in case you were wondering. So, before I was rudely interrupted by the train, as I was saying, so here we are, we're in Newhaven on the sunny south coast. The reason why we're here today is to go and have a look at the approachable location, Newhaven Harbour railway station. Now, we're going to visit a friend of mine in North Wales, and I'm going to be filming his layout, which is Newhaven Harbour. You have seen it before. There is some other footage of it on there, but because of we're not going to be having a wagon show this year, I wanted to sort of try and mark the day. So this will be coming out on the day of the wagon show, and that's the reason for this. Sort of a save the day for next year, if you like, or my way of marking what would have been. I appreciate there's been an awful lot of shows this year that have all suffered as a result of the coronavirus, and from what I can gather, there's shows that are cancelling 2022 now. So I think the face of model railway is going to be changing slightly. I think it's going to be more virtual rather than actual, if that makes any sense. So I think I'd like to play my part in that without putting out thousands of videos of the same thing. So yeah, I thought today we would mix up a little bit of prototype and a little bit of model, just to sort of change it around a little bit. And what we have in the approachable location, that does sort of help. I think one of the things you do need to bear in mind with, even though it is approachable location that we're going to see on both occasions, sometimes the correlation between an actual place and what you can do in a model are very different. I myself personally looked at doing par, and I know one of the other guys in a different group, we also looked at doing par, and we both came up with the same answer, that as much as par was a very interesting space, especially back in the 1980s, there was an awful lot going on where they were changing over between the old wagons to the new wagons. It was sort of, you had at the right sort of time, there was the two lots running side by side for a short time there, plus all the other stuff that went on with all the China clay traffic. You know, really interesting. You had the main lines, you had HSTs, locals, more than enough to keep you in interest, you know, for a model railway. The problem is that the amount of space you require to reproduce that, or even a compact version of it, was just massive, as you do with any location. So that's why I prefer to go for more fictitious locations. Then, you know, it's what could have been but never was, if you like. As for when you come to a real location, you're always going to say, well, you know, it doesn't look anything like it. But that's because sometimes it's difficult, if I'm making sense. Sometimes it's difficult to actually try and reproduce it, but there's flavours of it, and that's what. So you know, the stock you run, that can be prototypical, amongst other things. I also think on the model, Newhaven Harbour is depicted as a terminus, or the tracks don't go any further, as where you can see here that they do. So you know, say there are definite differences, but that's what modeller's license or compromise is all about. So you don't necessarily have to do exactly what it is, but you can do within the theme of it, within the flavour of it. And I think that's what Newhaven Harbour was all about. It was, he liked the location, he liked the name, and it was just sort of a mix of the two. Like the stock, so the stock's fairly prototypical, or the stock's prototypical for the time. I think it's modelled around sort of like 1970-ish. So that would have been what we would have been seeing in and out of here. Maybe with the exception of perhaps there may have been a little bit more traffic than what you might have seen on a little branch. But again, that's to add interest. You know, a lot of these little branch lines, you know, you couldn't run one train an hour at a show because you'd get kicked out. So there has to be quite a lot of diversity. So again, that's just something else that is unprototypical with most layouts, is the fact that you've got an awful lot of trains running. But if you haven't, then it makes the layout not worth watching. So yeah, it's all one big compromise. But anyway, we'll go through. We'll have a look and see. We'll have a look and see what we can see today, and we'll go from there. So yeah, please come along and join me for my epic weekend of whatever it's going to be like. Typical me, I haven't planned anything. I've not scripted anything, as I never do. So it's just all as it comes, as usual. But that's me. That's just how I am. So I can understand now what they mean about the building itself, the old station building being, shall we say, tired. So you can see that. So that looks like that's actually fenced off from the main station area now. Which is a shame really to see buildings like that going, but I suppose it's like anything, it's all about money and life, and what sort of this environment as well, this harsh sort of sea environment probably takes its toll on it as well, especially with all the salt in the air. So it's a hard sort of things to try and maintain to sort of a higher standard. There's building there as well. Looks like probably the old waiting room. The sun's not perfect for this shot, but that's the dock. That's the point work for the dock branch, and then that's it going sort of on up there. You can sort of see it going off up there into the distance, and I think that's pretty much just exclusively for aggregates now. So that's pretty good. And then the bridge that I was on went round, and you can just see that. Again, the light's not perfect, but that green bridge there was where I was standing earlier. But it's not the ideal shot for that. So without a doubt, there was another track in here, which you can just sort of see. You probably can't, but I can see it. So that would have gone down to there. So I do believe on the model, I think this is where the parcel bays are, although I'm not sure if it is on the other side. So, but there's certainly, this would have been another platform. So if I go along, you can just see, you can clearly see the track work in there that once was. Oh, there's two. You can actually see, so there was double track in here. So this would have been the bay and plus the sidings. Whether or not there would have been another one beyond here or not, I don't know. But you can certainly see both sets of track in there. Yeah, clearly see it there. And just about, again, just about on that back, that's well and truly overgrown though, but it is there. So what we'll do is we'll take a walk down the end. don't think you'd have got that announcement back in the 1970s.